Hey guys, it's Ani. In today's video, I'm gonna address a lot of important points for your manifesting journey. So it's gonna be a good video. I'm gonna talk about like things I realized along the way on manifesting my SP and financial abundance and whatever it is, right? Like whatever you're manifesting, like um, it's gonna apply to it. So I'll talk about some of the stuff I realized and how I help my clients become successful too, right? Because I'm getting for about, I don't know, the last 2, 3 years, so many success stories from clients that had ridiculous like circumstances, right? Like we know circumstances don't matter, but like it would seem like impossible and they still got what they wanted. And my circumstances seemed impossible too when I was manifesting my specific person. So I want to share important things with you guys in this video. So the topic of today's video is, I know you guys hear a lot like, okay, about self-concept or about like thinking from the end, living from the end, from the wish fulfilled, right? Like, or you got to be that person in order to live that life. I'm sure you guys have heard of it too. Now, what would happen to me when I would hear this or read it? I would get so annoyed because I would be like, okay, I get it. Like, I get it. I get the point. I need to be it. I need to live it from it, right? But how? How? I don't feel like it. I don't believe that I'm there yet. I don't see things happening in my reality. I don't feel like tapping into a better version that got what they wanted, right? And I know a lot of you guys could relate. I don't know, like that's how I was. Like when I would hear it or read it and it was constant like, okay, you got to be it in order to live it, or you got to think from it in order to be in that reality, right? I would be like, all right, well, like if I could do that, like I wouldn't even be reading the book or I wouldn't even be watching the video, right? So I want to help you guys with that. So there's some things you need to realize before tapping into or experimenting with living in the end. Okay. So along the whole journey, you are going to need to remind yourself constantly that you are the only one in control, because you may forget that 1,000 times a day. I'm telling you right now. You may forget that you're in control thousands and thousands of times along your journey. And you're going to have to bring yourself back into, wait a second, I'm off track. Hello, my thoughts create. Why, where are we going with this thought? We can't go to reactor mode. We need to go back to creator mode, right? So where I'm going with this is along the way to you living on the way of you living in the end or living from the end, where like you're, let's say you're having imaginal scenes where you're living in the end with your specific person, right? Or you're having inner conversations with that person, or you're just thinking from their point of view of like them missing you, wanting you, needing you, wanting to marry you, right? You're going to get knocked off many times while you try these things. And when you get knocked off, those are the moments where you're going to be like, what's the point of this? When you get shaken, those are going to be the moments where you're going to be like, how do I do this? I just did it and I got pushed out of that reality because I remembered something negative. I was just having an inner conversation with my specific person and I got a negative thought and now I don't feel like I'll ever get there. What is this, right? So that's what would happen to me. Like every time I would do something for living in the end with SP, whether it was affirming, whether it was doing an inner conversation, whether it was I don't know, anything, right? Like I'm sure you guys have tried everything, like subliminals, hypnosis, affirming, whatever, blah, 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 right? There has come a point in each one of those that you've tried where you got knocked out of that reality because it almost felt too good to be true, correct? If I'm right, comment down below. When that happens, that is the most important moment that you need to bring yourself back into neutral. That is the most crucial moment, because here's what's going to happen. Either you're going to have two options, right? I always talk about this. I always talk about this in my other videos. You always have two options. Always, always, always. You're either going to get knocked off the track and worry, doubt, fear, go backwards, go back to being a reactor, or you're going to remember in that moment that this is a crucial moment. I'm not going to allow this to shake me any longer, because this is what separates a successful manifester and a reactor, right? This is what makes a master manifester and someone that's still staying in the middle for years and years and years and years. In that moment when you're shaken, and you're going to have those moments, I'm telling you right now, you can't run away from those moments. Whether you're affirming, some thought will pop up and it'll be like, oh, you don't have your SP, haha. SP is probably with third party. You're over here sitting affirming, right? Like, those thoughts, you need to handle those thoughts. You need to tell yourself, like, listen, that little ego in me right now wants to play a game with me right now, but I'm not going to allow it, because I'm wise. The real truth is I am the most powerful creator in my reality. That is your real truth. And when that little voice is trying to play with you, you shut that voice down and you say, listen, little voice. I don't know, we used to call it Karen, remember? Listen, little voice. You used to play a big role in here for me, and I used to believe you. But now I know better. Now I've seen evidence in my reality that my thoughts create. I've seen some of my affirmations push out. I've seen everyone as you pushed out. I've seen it. That's why I'm even here. I'm sticking to my mental diet, right? So you no longer can live in this head of mine. You cannot occupy that place anymore in my head. How should I explain this? Your ego, you guys, it's normal. Humans, we are human. We're in this human experience. We've had ego, since childhood, probably. We've had ego, and it feels normal. Sometimes it even feels like intuition, like, maybe I should listen to my ego and put these walls up, or put my guard up, or whatever with this person, right? But listen, you know what ego is? Number one, ego is lack of knowledge when it comes to your power. You are in that moment when you're allowing your ego to take control of your mind. You are lacking the knowledge of everyone as you pushed out. And listen, I'm not pointing any fingers. I'm guilty of that. I've gone through that, manifesting an SP, manifesting whatever it is in my life that I wanted. Ego would come up to the surface and be like, hey girl, remember when we used to react to this? Let's react to it even harder now. You deserve this, and you deserve this, and you can't take that, like, you can't take that person's behavior. Like, you need to say something right now. You need to defend yourself right now. You need to confront this person right now in your 3D. No, that is lack of knowledge. That is lack of wisdom. That is your reactive mode trying to push you to do something that you shouldn't do. You know better. Now you know better. So we're not allowing that ego to live within anymore. You're gonna sometimes you can talk to your ego as if it's a child and say, listen, we're not gonna do that anymore. We used to do that. We used to have reactions like this. When SP would say something to me, we used to have reactions like this. We used to trip out. We used to get nervous. We used to get anxious. We're no longer doing that, because SP is not running the show. I'm running the show, right? And remember, when you are all powerful, you do not need to prove it to anyone or anything. You only need to remember who you are. Okay? Next thing, how sometimes I would handle my ego, and a lot of clients, this helps a lot of my successful clients. Well, all of my clients are successful. If anyone watching this, you are successful. You're born successful. You just got to remember, right? But a lot of my clients, this would help them. So sometimes you got to look at that voice in your head as, like, I'm sure we've all had a friend like that, right? Group of friends. There's always that one person that tries to stir the pot, right? Tries to get a reaction out of someone, tries to get two people to fight or confront each other, right? There's always a friend like that in the group, whether it's in your childhood or whether it's in your adulthood. I'm sure we've all experienced a friend like that just loves to stir the pot, right? That is that inner voice of yours, that ego voice. It thinks that is the best thing to do in that moment when you are in your 3D and you are seeing like unfavorable things happen or circumstances, or even if you're in your head and you're affirming and you're having an inner conversation and it pops up like, hey, let's stir the pot right now. Remember those old feelings you used to have that didn't serve you? Let's make you feel that way. No, friend, you are no longer invited to this environment, this circle. Sorry, deleted, blocked. No more friend. You're no longer friends. Okay? That's how I want you to see that inner ego, you guys. So, master manifestors, successful manifestors, which each and every one of you are and will be if you're not experiencing it right now, know how to shut that voice down in their head. And listen, it's not going to be the easiest thing. I'm telling you right now, you are not going to feel good in those moments. You're going to feel like maybe it's true what that voice is saying. Oh, look, SP's with the third party. Oh, look, you don't have enough money. Oh, look, it's taking too long for your manifestation to come in. You're a failure. It's not working. Maybe it works for other people, but not you. Those thoughts are going to feel real in that moment, but that is the illusion. That's the illusion. That's the real fake news right there. Okay? Your truth is you have access right now to tap in to any desired reality you want to experience. You can right now tap into the thoughts of SP missing you, wanting you, needing you, reaching their phone out to message you. You have access to those thoughts. You have access to thoughts of you guys being married. You have access to thoughts of you winning $300 million lottery. You have access to those thoughts. You have an imagination for a reason. It didn't stop working in childhood. It grew with you. Imagination's still working. Why? Your body's very intelligent. Things that aren't meant to work in adulthood will probably stop working, right? Imagination doesn't. Still there. Still working. Thoughts are still playing around, playing around, playing around. Why do you have a tendency to imagine the worst? Because number one, you listen to that voice in your head, you believe it because you have all your life. Number two, you have created dominant negative thoughts and reactive thoughts throughout the years that have probably given you evidence, right? Our thoughts create. So if you have thought of a thought long enough and it's pushed out, a negative one, you're more likely to believe that one than this imaginal scene of you and SP being married and having 15 children, right? Like, which one would feel more real? Obviously, the one that pushed out, the negative one. And you probably pushed out a lot of negative thoughts into your reality because you were unconscious of what you were doing. You had no idea that your thoughts were creating. Okay? So That's one thing, you guys. When you're manifesting a SP or anything, a master manifester, a disciplined manifester, which you will be if you are not already, is one that takes care of those thoughts and the ego on the spot. Okay? You have to, you guys write this down, okay? This is very important. You have to remember when your person or whatever it is, like let's say you're manifesting a better work environment, right? And it's your boss, whoever it is. When your person is acting up in your 3D, you need to forgive that. You need to forgive them for playing a role you assigned. And you also have to forgive yourself for creating that person. Okay? And I know those of you watching are like, well, I didn't want to create that person. That person showed me evidence, and then I took it as that's who they are, and I continued to create them in that way. Yes, that's possible. So if that's the case, then you went into the relationship with the low self-concept, thinking of you, maybe you're not chosen, maybe you have past relationship issues that you never like dealt with, and you brought those thoughts into this current relationship, right? It all comes down to self-concept and assumptions at the end of the day, which brings me to another important point. Self-concept. Self-concept is very important. Self-concept is what you think of yourself and how you think others see you. Okay? Again, I'm going to say it again. Self-concept is what you think of you and what you think others think and assume of you. Okay? So, for example, when I first met SP, when I was manifesting my SP, I came out of a really bad relationship. And when I manifested SP in, later I found out like there's a third party, whatever. Now I know why. I know exactly why. Because when I got out of the relationship that didn't serve me, I had no idea of law of assumption. I didn't know about law of assumption when I met current SP. But when I got out of, because reverse engineering, right? I always reverse engineer. Like now knowing what I know, I always look back onto my life and see how stuff played out. And it always 99.9%, it matches what I was thinking at that moment of myself or what assumptions I had at that time, right? So when I got out of the relationship that didn't serve me, I didn't want that relationship. I remember, like, it was a long time ago, but I remember, like, I was literally talking to everyone. I don't want a serious relationship. I don't want a commitment right now. It's not the time. I don't want to give my all to someone and then not get it back. Blah, 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 blah. And then here comes Dream Guy SP, right? And at that moment, I'm like, oh, I'm ready, right? But I didn't change my story from the prior person. The self-concept was not worked on at all. I still had thoughts, fears, doubts, worries about relationships and commitment. So it played out in SP having a third party. And was it SP's fault? No. Was it third party's fault? No. If I'm the one creating my reality, right? How does it work? Well, if I'm going in, well, not even going in, if my self-concept and my constant thoughts are relationships are crap, I don't want them, commitment's not the best thing ever, I don't want this, I don't want that, like look what happened to me, if those are my thoughts, I'm not gonna get like a happy committed relationship right away, because your thoughts create, and they need persisting. If you want a new story, you don't want the old sucky story, you got to persist in it. If you don't understand your thoughts create in that moment, you're not obviously going to persist in a new story. You're going to think, oh, life is just happening to me, I'm not in control. And that's where most of you guys are or were. Most of you guys coming into law of assumption and learning this are probably in a very bad situation or have been in a very bad situation, which pushed you to look for answers. So it is a blessing. What you went through is a blessing. What I went through was a blessing because I started looking for answers. And SP is actually one of the first people that told me about my thoughts creating. Isn't that crazy? You know? So I truly believe that what you guys are going through is meant to bring you here. It's meant to bring you to this knowledge, whether it's me, another coach, another video, another channel, whatever it is, a book, right? You are meant to go through the breakdown in order to have the breakthrough, okay? Because if you're not pushed enough, you're not gonna care to look for answers. Comfort zone, right? We stay in a comfort zone long enough, we don't care. Like, we're just there. There's no point of looking for knowledge and answers when you're fine. You have to go through something in order to wake up, you know, awaken, right? So, yeah. You guys, I don't like script anything or I don't write any notes down, so I'm going off of how I feel and what's popping in my head because I've like felt and I've read the comments that you guys resonate so much with what I talk about. Like I'll talk about a topic and like everyone will be like, "Oh my God, I was literally waiting for this topic to pop up." So you guys are literally manifesting the topics through me, which is beautiful. And that's why we resonate. But so whose fault is it? Like if SP is showing you behavior you don't like or characteristics you don't like, or if there's a third party or your boss is showing up in a certain way, whatever, right? Who is to blame? It's always you. I know it sounds bad, but it's always you. It's always your thoughts that created. You saw something from that person, maybe once, maybe twice, maybe 3 times. You kept focusing on it. You didn't like it. It kept pushing out. You didn't like it even more. Now, because it's been thought of and pushed out, thought of, pushed out, thought of, pushed out so much, now it's a belief within you that this person is that way. They'll never change. They told me they'll never date me. They'll never commit to me. They'll never want me. We'll never get married. Boom, 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 boom. These are my circumstances. I don't feel like I can manifest. Ever felt that way before? Hi, welcome to the club. You guys have to understand what you've seen, what behavior you have seen from that person that has left residue in your mind that don't serve you, like that doesn't serve you. It was only, their behavior was only a result of your focus and energy at the time. It does not play a part now. What you've once created has nothing to do with your now. Nothing. You do not have to recreate the same scenario over and over and over again. If someone was telling you, I can't be with you 15,000 times, if your SPs told you 15,000 times, I can't be with you, doesn't matter. What are you doing in that moment? Where are you going in your mind? Where are you going in your head? Because I've been told that, look what happened, right? A lot of people have been told that still get their success. They still have their commitment. They still got their marriages. They still got their relationships. You have to understand that your ego is going to get in the way. You have to understand that old subconscious thoughts are going to pop up and try to shake you. You have to understand that that person may not right away show you your desired outcome just because you've been affirming for a week or 2 or a month. You have to understand that there is some lag time because you do have an old story with this person All of these things matter. These are all points you need to remember. So if you're on your manifesting journey and you just feel like you're failing over and over again, normal. That is normal. That is normal. That is normal. I was literally in the middle of an argument with my SP when I got my breakthrough. Now is not the time to share the whole story with me in SP. I definitely will when the time is right. But I just want to share those things with you so you guys understand. When I got my breakthrough with SP, I still thought I probably have a really long time to work on this because I had a long old story that didn't serve me with my SP. And I thought I have to work on this so much more. There's no way it's going to happen in the timing it could happen, right? I was literally in an argument with SP and I got my breakthrough. So please stop worrying about the how. Please stop worrying about the when. Please stop worrying about everything you've manifested in the past. Please stop worrying about that little person in your head that's trying to knock you off. It doesn't know better. That little voice in your head knows no better. It doesn't know that it's God. That little voice is just like, I'm this person that sees what your five senses see, and I don't see what you want, so I'm going to just talk you out of this. Okay? Right? When we don't see something with our five senses, we don't experience it, we trip out. And that's that ego. Your ego's like, hello. You're saying something's happening, but it's not happening. You're delusional. You're weird. Like, this manifesting thing is weird. That's what your voice is saying, like that ego. But five senses don't matter. That's not your power. That's not your godly power. Your godly power is here. It's your imagination. It's what you're doing right now. When you get off this video, what are you going to be doing? Are you going to be thinking about the old story, or are you going to be thinking about the new story with your SP? When we say living in the end, this is how I started the video. When we say you got to live from the end, you got to be who you want to be. What I mean by that, what that means for me is I need to be in those thoughts. Like, if I'm like gonna sit down to watch a movie, right? How am I gonna think of my SP in that moment? Most of us, and how I used to be, was I didn't get a text today. I didn't get a call. This person doesn't care. This person doesn't care. I'm about to watch a movie. Haven't heard from him. This person doesn't care. No, we're not doing that, because living in the end means I do not care what my circumstances have shown me. I do not care what my 3D reality has shown me. That is dead reality. That is a result of my old thoughts. What am I thinking now? I'm going to think about how amazing it's going to feel when I do hear from him. I'm going to think about how amazing it's going to be when it's like the day after our marriage, day after our wedding. Where are we going to be? Who's going to be there? What are we going to be doing? What are we going to be laughing about? Those are the things you want to think about. I'm going to be thinking about this person's love for me. Okay? I hope this video helps you guys. And I don't know, I've been there. I know how it feels. And I want you to know that you always have two options. You're going to think about either the best scenario possible or what you've been thinking. And most likely what you've been thinking has not been serving you. So you want to go to the best things that can happen, right? Frank Sinatra has a song. I love Frank. The best is yet to come. Put it on, listen to it. If this video helped you guys, comment down below. We still have that contest going on for 3 free coaching sessions with the coach of your choice. All you got to do is subscribe to our channel, comment down below. And if you guys are interested in any of my courses, you guys have been getting so much success. It's going to be in the link in the description box down below. I love all of you. See you in the next video. Bye.